Welcome to another episode of the News in an Hour. This program is brought to you by Cuber, Pittsburgh's source for LGBTQ plus news and community information. Learn more about Cuber by visiting their website at cuber.com. That's QBURGH.com. And by the Pennsylvania Equality Project, which will be hosting Free Shop at the Meadville Public Library, 848 North Main Street in Meadville. Drop off your gently used clothing, blankets, toys, games, kitchen items, and such both days of the event. Anyone from the community can gather the donated items and take them for free both days of the event. Free Shop Spring 2025 is being held May 9th and 10th from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. in the community room on the upper floor of the library. For details, see the Pennsylvania Equality Project website at paequality.com. We open today's show with the hot mess that is the federal budget for the remainder of fiscal year 2025. House Republicans unveiled a spending bill Saturday that would keep federal agencies funded through September 30th, pushing ahead with a go-it-alone strategy that seems certain to spark a major confrontation with Democrats over the contours of government spending. The 99-page bill would provide a slight boost to defense programs while trimming non-defense programs below 2024 budget year levels. That approach is likely to be a non-starter for most Democrats who have long insisted that defense and non-defense spending move in the same direction. Congress must act by midnight Friday to avoid a partial government shutdown. Speaker Mike Johnson, the Republican from Louisiana, is teeing up the bill for a vote on Tuesday, despite the lack of buy-in from Democrats, essentially daring them to vote against it and risk a shutdown. He also is betting that Republicans can muscle the legislation through the House largely by themselves. Normally, when it comes to keeping the government fully open for business, Republicans have had to work with Democrats to craft a bipartisan measure that both sides can support. That's because Republicans almost always lack the votes to pass spending bills on their own. Crucially, the strategy has the backing of President Donald Trump, who has shown an ability so far in his term to hold Republicans in line. Trump praised the bill, posting on his Truth Social platform that Republicans have to remain united, no dissent, fight for another day when the timing is right. Great things are coming for America, and I'm asking you to give us a few months to get us through to September so we can continue to put the country's financial house in order, he said. House Republicans' leadership staff outlined the contours of the measure, saying it would allow for about $892.5 billion in defense spending and about $708 billion in non-defense spending. The defense spending is slightly above the prior year's level, but the non-defense spending, the aide said, would be about $13 billion below last year. The measure also will not include funding requested by individual lawmakers for thousands of community projects across the country, often referred to as earmarks. But Republicans noted that it would provide for the largest pay increase to junior enlisted service members in more than 40 years, and it included an additional $500 million for a nutritional assistance program for women, infants, and young children. The bill does not cover the majority of government spending, including programs such as Social Security and Medicare. Funding for those two programs are on autopilot and are not regularly reviewed by Congress. The top Democrats on the House and Senate Appropriations Committees, Connecticut Representative Rosa DeLauro and Washington Senator Patty Murray, both issued statements blasting the legislation. I strongly oppose this full-year continuing resolution, DeLauro said. Murray said the legislation would give Donald Trump and Elon Musk more power over federal spending and more power to pick winners and losers, which threatens families in blue and red states alike. Maine Senator Susan Collins, who heads the Senate Appropriations Committee, said the focus must be on preventing a shutdown because closures have negative consequences all across government. They require certain essential government employees, such as Border Patrol agents, members of our military and Coast Guard, TSA screeners, and air traffic controllers to report to work with no certainty on when they will receive their next paycheck, Collins said. We cannot allow that to occur. Um, Newsflash to Senator Collins. Doge doesn't think any government employee is essential, including your own job, Senator. If he thought for a moment, even a moment, that these jobs were so essential, Elon Musk might not have gone through the FAA employee rosters and laid off so many probationary employees. And maybe he wouldn't have fired 500 National Weather Service meteorologists at the start of fucking tornado season. Maybe, just maybe, he would have gone out on a binge of cutting CDC and NIH employees while Texas is in a measles outbreak. Except maybe he likes it when kids die. That way, he can just use AI and a 3D printer to create more offspring X users so his stock values would stop plummeting. But please, go on, Senator Collins. Do tell us what your wonderful plans are to save the U.S. economy from utter freefall. Trump's request for unity appears to be having an effect. Some conservatives who almost never vote for continuing resolutions expressed much openness to one last week. Why, Representative Ralph Norman, the Republican from South Carolina, says he has never voted for a continuing resolution, what lawmakers often call a CR. But he is on board with Johnson's effort. He says he has confidence in Trump and the Department of Government Efficiency, better known as DOGE, led by Elon Musk, to make a difference on the nation's debt. Glad you do, Ralphie, you stupid sod. Just ask all the government employees who were fired how that's going towards hurting unemployment numbers all across the country for the months of February and March. Why don't you ask some economists while you're at it? On that note, we're going to take a break, and when we come back from these messages, we'll have a whole lot more to complain about. We'll be right back after this.